Hello, I'm Ciaran Lynch and welcome to OviCast, the Teagasc sheep podcast. Each episode will bring you latest insights, advice and technical updates for the sheep industry. In this episode, I'm joined by Denis O'Riordan. Denis is one of the participants in the Better Farm Sheep programme. He's based just outside Bantry in County Cork. Denis is running a 350 ewe Blackface hill flock. We'll discuss current management on the farm, some of his plans for selling lambs this year, selecting replacements, as well as some of the breeding decisions he makes for his flock. We finish up discussing some of the changes he's made since joining the Better Farm Sheep programme. We start off, however, with Denis giving us a little bit of background to the farm itself and the system that he's managing.
I'm farming in West Cork. It's a mountain farm. I suppose it's kind of high enough hill. It's running up to over 2,300 feet. I'm running all hill ewes, about 350 hill ewes, and I have 8 suckler cows as well then.
We're not a million miles away from Bantry at your farm, and I suppose there is a bit of green ground attached to it as well. It's split in 2 blocks, Denis, isn't it?
There is, yeah. There's about 20 acres of green ground in Oak Farm, so that's a good addition to the hill ground.
And the hill itself, it does go up quite a height. It's quite hard at the upper parts of it.
It is very, very high mountain. It's a rough hill, yeah.
So you're running 350 ewes. What type of ewe are you running that hill?
I suppose traditionally it would have been what we call the traditional Blackface ewe. There would be maybe back the years there would be a bit of Mayo breeding brought in. A bit of Swaledale, and I suppose over the last few years there, since I joined the Better Farm, a bit of Lanark breeding as well. Okay. So there's a mixture.
It's between three. So mainly that Scotch type ewe you're having on. So it is.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll catch up to where you are at the moment in terms of what's happened on the farm over the last couple of weeks. You were saying, I know to me earlier, the ewes, you had them down the hill ewes for weaning. Your crossbreds, did you wean them off slightly earlier, or what's happened with the flock at the moment? Yeah,
the crossbred lambs, they'll be weaned early August, and the ewes left back up to the mountain then. They'd be crossbred lambs or twins. The ewes with the single lambs in, they were up the hill, they came down there start of September, and the lambs weaned, and all the ewes and lambs got a dose. They were dipped, and the ewes left back out to the hill, and replacement lambs left back out to the hill with the ewes.
Roughly, you're running about 60, 70 ewes or crossbred lambs on them every year. The rest is going pure, is it? Or
yeah, about that, yeah.
Okay. No, it's at the stage of year, if the lambs off now, they're on the low ground. I know in previous years you'd have probably finished a proportion of them lambs. Last year, maybe we just go back to it. What did you do in terms of finishing them lambs? I know you sell a lot of stores, but some did you carry through the crossbreds or some of the hill lambs to finish?
I did. I finished a lot of the crossbred lambs last year. The majority of the hill lambs, the Blackface lambs, they will be sold to stores. Just the fact that you have lower weights, and I wouldn't have the grass for them to carry them on. Whereas I get the crossbred lambs gone sooner. This year now, I don't really plan on finishing any lambs. It's just with the price of the store lambs at the moment, it doesn't really justify.
So, you haven't gone with any yet as it stands. I assume so. You're going to go live with the crossbreds and your hill lambs this year. You're going to sell all the stores.
That's the plan, to sell them all the stores. Yeah. I have some of the crossbreds gone already. Okay,
you're selling live in stores. What way you sell them? Is it through the mart or through a producer group locally?
Yeah, well this year now, a lot of the lambs, they'll be weighed live in Bantry, which is local down there, and go straight onto the lorry. So
you're going straight from your farm or straight away from it, so there's no kind of waiting around on them.
Yeah, so kind of I suppose really they're weighed in within an hour inside the lorry, rather than waiting around the mart. Other years I would have gone to the mart there with them.
Okay. So it's a local option for you. It's not a million miles either. Your crossbred lambs, what type of crossbreds are you running?
I'd be running Suffolks, and there's a Blueface Leicester ram there as well.
So, like your options, you'd mentioned this before, like the female crossbred lamb, have you an outlet, you have a breeding market outlet for them, have you?
I do. Like I have a few customers there. I've been built up over the years there that would buy lambs off me, and like some of the Blueface Leicester there, the mule lambs, I leave them around to Hoggets, and I had customers there as well for them. I wouldn't have to go to market them. I have kind of a customer base for them.
You've built that trade up over the years.
Yeah, that's right.
It's another very useful outlet, and I suppose there is the premium there for them lambs every year as well, over and above what you're getting for your crossbred lambs.
Oh, there is definitely, yeah. I mean, it's worthwhile. It's worthwhile breeding if you was all right.
It covers it. Look, just in terms, you mentioned you had your replacement lambs pulled off. The management of them lambs, like how many do you pull off every year? And you were saying they went back up the hill. Like, how do you manage them from now to next year?
The ewe lambs, early September, they come in with the ewes. They're clipped, they're dipped, they're dosed. They go back out to the hill with the ewe. They stay up on the hill. The ewes come back down in November for the tipping, and the ewe lambs stay up there. So the ewe lambs are on the mountain right through until next year, until next autumn.
They're not coming down to the green ground for any kind of period of time in the back end of the year. You're keeping them out.
That's right, yeah. Any ewe lamb that's not suitable or fit to go back up to the mountain, they're kind of sold on, really.
Okay, so you want one that's fit for the system. Just in terms of the ewes, what are you doing with them at the moment? I suppose the ones that had crossbred you then pulled off a bit earlier, but have they all gone back up to the hill, or what's the plan with them?
Well, say the ewes that would have had the crossbred lambs there, a lot of them would have been older ewes, say ewes that would have been on their last year, but were still good ewes for breeding lambs. So that's why they were put with the Suffolk and the Blueface Leicester rams, and they were kept down over the summer in the lower ground. So they'll be sold through the market as cull ewes.
It was basically a final crop of them, and you'd be hoping that they'd be in good enough condition after weaning anyway, like.
Yeah, most of them would be in good condition. And any young ewes then that would have been would have crossbred lambs, they go back up onto the mountain after weaning.
Okay, so like on the low ground at the moment, you're looking at what? Have you kept down some of the cull ewes and some of the thinner ones, or has everything gone back up to the hill after weaning?
So on the lowland ground at the moment, there's cull ewes, whatever lambs are left to sell. And there's a few tin ewes, young ewes that I would have kept back just to put on in condition there before tipping.
Okay. If I fast forward a couple of weeks with you, you've kind of covered it's the older ewes, you go for crossbreeding. The ewes that's going back to the Scotch rams, how are you picking them? Are you mob mating them in groups, or are you picking them off for individual rams?
Yeah, well, they'll be divided up into groups. Any younger rams that would have bought in, they'll be put with the younger ewes, and say older rams that would have had maybe 2-3 years, they'll be put with the older ewes then.
You're trying to get as much out of them older rams as you can and avoid inbreeding with them.
Well, yeah. Well, if I have a good ram that I like, maybe might hold on to him 4, 5, 6 years if he's good enough, and keep picking the ewes for him.
So then, like another aspect, and we haven't really talked about yet, is I remember off the Better Farm Sheep Program, you won the Hill Flocks in it now for a number of years. That's how I got to know you first. Maybe just for the benefit of the listeners, you'll take us through maybe some of the changes in your system since you started.
Yeah, so I suppose one of the biggest changes would be the ewes going to ram. Looking back, like there's a flock of about 350 ewes on the farm. Looking back at 2016, there would have been maybe 270 ewes lambing down, whereas at the present date, 2020, there would be about 330 ewes lambing down. The difference there is traditionally the yearling ewes or the 18-month-old ewes wouldn't have gone to the ram; they'd have been left going till 30 months. That'd be kind of traditional for a lot of the mountains down here to leave ewes until 3-year-olds lambing down. So that's probably the biggest change I've made. And I found that it worked out good enough. I'm happy with the change.
It left a lot of extra lambs on the ground for you as well.
Yeah. I suppose one of the other changes I made then as well, I suppose I wouldn't have been scanning ewes previously, whereas I am now. So like it makes the management of the flock much easier. Like for
dealing with down twins.
You can divide up the ewes. Yeah.
So I suppose overall, Dennis, look, it's been a fairly good season for you so far, and look at with the store lamb trade the way it is. Hopefully, over the next couple of weeks, any of the remaining lambs you'll get on well with.
Oh, hopefully, yeah. Like there's been good grass cut down with the last while. I'll be hoping to get a lot of lambs away fairly early there, bar the few small lambs left on there, and get a bit of grass built up again for the mating there in the autumn.
Okay. Dennis, good to catch up with you. Thanks for giving us an insight to your system and giving us an update of where you are at the moment.
No problem at all. Good to talk to you.
Okay, we'll finish things up at this point. Again, I'd like to thank Dennis for taking time out to come on with us. It was good to hear about the background to his system and some of the changes he's made in it. Again, like any of the Better Farm participants, the information is available on the Teagasc website. There is a particular section for the Better Farms, and I'll include that in the description link. And there will be regular updates in the sheep newsletter each month. And hopefully we'll catch up again with them in a later podcast. That's it for me for this episode. Again, for any updates from the sheep program, keep an eye on our Twitter page at Teagasc Sheep. I'm Ciaran Lynch. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to subscribe and tune in to future episodes.